4 continents, 20 countries, 22 race weekends, all in the span of 261 days. The Formula One season wrapped up this past Sunday at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. The season has been especially exciting because of the championship battle between Red Bull's Max Verstappen and Mercedes' Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton and Verstappen entered the final race of the season tied in points at 369.5 points apiece. This is the first time since 1974 when championship rivals have been tied in points. Verstappen was the most recent winner at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in 2020, but before that it had been dominated by Mercedes as they had won every race between 2014 and 2019. Hamilton won 3 of the races in that span in 2016, 2018, and 2019. Lewis Hamilton headed into the weekend looking for a record-breaking 8th World Championship. He sat tied with Michael Schumacher with 7 titles for both of them heading into this weekend. Verstappen was looking for his first world title heading into this weekend and Red Bull's first since 2013 with Sebastian Vettel. Hamilton was the fastest in the first round of qualifying, but Verstappen and Red Bull picked up the pace. In the second round of qualifying, Verstappen was the fastest, and in the third and final round of qualifying, Verstappen set the pole lap at a 1:22.109. The pole position is crucial at Abu Dhabi because the last 6 winners of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix started from pole position. And at the first corner of the race, he would take the lead from Verstappen. Verstappen didn't let it go easy though, as heading down a long straightaway into turn 6, Verstappen would make his move. He made an aggressive move to the inside of Lewis Hamilton, trying to pass him into the chicane, and he would force Lewis Hamilton wide. Hamilton would then go and cut the corner and take the lead once again, but Verstappen and Red Bull were not happy. They said that Hamilton had cut the corner and gained an advantage and tried to get the FIA to do something about it, whereas Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton argued that they were forced off the track and forced to do that. The FIA decided that there would be no investigation on the incident. Hamilton led for the first 14 laps of the race before Verstappen and himself pitted, and Sergio Perez, Verstappen's Red Bull teammate, would stay out as long as he possibly could. Perez, on old tires, would hold up Lewis Hamilton, and Verstappen would gain almost 8 seconds on Lewis Hamilton. Perez played the ultimate teammate role as long as he could, but Hamilton's fresh rubber endured eventually. Thanks to Perez, though, Verstappen was able to cut the gap under 2 seconds, but it was all for naught as Hamilton was once again able to pull away from Verstappen. On lap 37, there was a virtual safety car, and Verstappen decided to pit for fresh tires to try to see if he could chase down Lewis Hamilton. Verstappen tried his best, and he cut the lead to about 10 to 11 seconds, and that is where it stalled out, and it seemed like it was over for Verstappen and Red Bull. But just when he thought this championship was over, it was far from that. The Williams of Nicholas Latifi crashed on turn 14 on lap 53, meaning that there would be a full course safety car. The safety car would bunch up the field and Hamilton would opt to stay out, whereas Verstappen would pit for the freshest, fastest, soft compound tires. Now this is where things get interesting. The FIA rulebook states, under Article 48.12, if the clerk of the course considers it safe to do so, and the message "lap cars may now overtake" has been sent to all competitors via the official messaging system, any cars that have been lapped by the leader will be required to pass the cars on the lead lap and the safety car. Originally, race director Michael Massey decided that all the lap cars would stay behind the safety car, meaning that there would be 5 cars in between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. However, just a couple of minutes later, Massey and the race directors decided to change their mind, and with 2 laps to go, the 5 cars between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen were allowed to pass the safety car, but not the rest of the lapped cars. This allowed Max Verstappen in the fresh tires to be right behind Lewis Hamilton, and it was determined in a one-lap shootout. 1 lap to determine who would win the race in the 2021 World Championship. Verstappen made his move in turn 5 as he would go to the inside of Lewis Hamilton and take the lead, but Hamilton would not let it get away that easy. Hamilton tried to get a slipstream off Verstappen, but Verstappen weaved all the way down the long straight into turn 6 and would keep the lead until the next straight, when Hamilton would actually get side by side with Max Verstappen. Verstappen would eventually maintain the lead heading into turn 9 and would pull away from Lewis Hamilton and would win the race and his first world championship. Verstappen is the first Dutch driver to win a Formula One world championship. Verstappen was also Honda's first world champion since 1991 when Ayrton Senna won it for McLaren. This would also be Honda's last race in Formula One, as earlier this year they announced that this would be their final season in Formula One. Mercedes would win the team and constructors championship, but they were still upset about Hamilton losing the drivers championship and launched 2 protests against Verstappen and Red Bull. The first one was against Verstappen, saying that he overtook Lewis Hamilton during the safety car, which was rejected, and the other one was against the FIA, saying that they broke Article 48.12. This appeal was also rejected, meaning that Verstappen would indeed win the world championship. Mercedes may have won the constructors title, but it was the bitter taste of defeat for the drivers championship with Lewis Hamilton. But for Max Verstappen and Red Bull, it was the sweet taste of victory.